Welcome to the Doherty Water for Food podcast. Since 2010, the Doherty Water for Food Global Institute at the University of Nebraska has worked toward one goal, a food and water secure world. One in which global food security is ensured without compromising the use of water to meet other essential human and environmental needs. It's a daunting vision, but one that is vitally important. This podcast amplifies the voices of those making waves in this space. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Hello and welcome to the Water for Food podcast. I'm your host, Frances Hayes, Director of Communications and Public Relations here at the Doherty Water for Food Global Institute. Today we're diving into the Nebraska Master Irrigator program, a new approach to advancing water stewardship. The program invites participants to dig deeper and talk shop about the critical issues facing agricultural producers in Nebraska and throughout the U.S. Today's discussion will focus on how this program helps farmers grow more with less, maximize existing farm investments, improve margins, and ultimately strengthen the long-term future of Nebraska's soil and water resources. So joining me today to discuss the details, impact, and future of this initiative is Crystal Powers, DWFI Water and Cropping Systems Extension Educator. Crystal, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on.
So to start off, could you first provide a high-level overview of the Nebraska Master Irrigator program, how it differs from standard irrigation education or certification offerings in the state?
Sure. So we're really excited for doing a new format for irrigation education. And so what Nebraska Master Irrigator is this one we're really focusing on bringing together farmers to learn from each other and then several of the other ag advisors that they have. So that could be research, that could be industry partners, and it can be some of our conservation professionals. So the goal is to bring them together around some of these key issues in irrigation and soils and learn from each other, do some fun activities, just make it really interactive and an opportunity to learn together.
Great. And why is providing this advanced training like this so important for Nebraska's ag producers and the long-term sustainability of the state's water resources?
So agriculture is changing really fast and has been for decades. And so it's always a challenge to stay on top of what are the new innovations that are out there, both for growers and all the rest of us who advise the ag industry. And so opportunities like this, where we can learn from the latest industry providers about the latest technology, hear about the latest research, and hear from farmers on the ground about what's really working for their fields, is really critical for all of us to continue to move agriculture and water management forward. And our challenges around water management are always present. You know, droughts come around, water quality issues continue to be on the forefront. So we all just need to learn together about how we can continue to improve the long-term impacts of agriculture on water.
Great. That sounds really exciting, especially since we all know how the role that agriculture plays in Nebraska and how important it is. What do you see as some of the key barriers or challenges, regulatory, economic, environmental, that this new program is specifically designed to help producers overcome?
So a lot of the focus in Master Irrigator is how do we keep economics at the forefront and improve our efficiency? So our goal is really to help growers and their advisors level up their ability to grow more of their crops with fewer inputs. And so we're looking both at water and nitrogen are the two we're focused on this year. And hopefully that has multiple benefits across all of those. So we're looking at ways that saves farmers money up front. That's a real key piece of it, is these need to make economic sense for the farmers to help them more efficiently grow those crops. And those, as part of doing that, hopefully will also satisfy some of the regulatory pieces, whether that's in areas that have irrigation allocations or nitrate starting to be more of a concern, that these are tools that farmers can use that will achieve the same goals. Because I think in Nebraska, we're really not trying to stifle what's happening in agriculture. It's really talking about how do we just make sure there's that long-term, abundant, clean water supply that agriculture and the citizens of Nebraska can have access to. And so those pieces hopefully all tie together. That's what we're trying to look at. Or what are those practices that meet in the sweet spot of being economically viable for the growers, as well as helping meet some of those long-term water goals.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like a win-win of, making economical sense, but also fulfilling some regulatory stuff and making sure that the environment supports that too, and that we have enough water, clean water, for future generations. So now I want to talk a little bit about the logistics of Nebraska Master Irrigator. I understand you have some shop talks coming up, you're calling them, but talk a little bit about how the curriculum is structured, what the core components are, who's been involved in making these a reality, where they are, that type of thing.
Sure. So the ones we have coming up, so we're calling them Shop Talk because it's really designed around this discussion interactive piece. And we have those set up. We're going to do 4 locations across Nebraska. So hopefully everybody has one that's within an hour or 2 of their farm. And then those at each location, we're going to do 2 days. The first day is really focused in on irrigation. And then the second day is focused on nitrogen. And so we're trying to keep it, we have some general talk, discussion points across the day, but we really want farmers to also help drive where this conversation goes. And so who we've brought together to be part of that conversation, it's being organized by several of us on the Nebraska Extension team. But it's in partnership with NRCS is helping sponsor it. They're going to be there sharing about some of the incentive programs that they have available. Our local natural resource districts are also supporting the program and going to be available to share some of the insights from the monitoring that they do, as well as incentive programs that are available locally that are different from some of those federal incentives. And then we also are bringing in ag industry partners. So we've got about 8 to 10 industry partners who are going, some of them are going to share some of the insights from their latest technologies. All of them are going to have some vendor booths so that if you want to learn more about their technology, they're available. And hopefully they'll also just be part of that conversation about these different topics. And so it's really a partnership across a wide variety of ag advisors, with the idea being is that farmers can kind of direct where some of the conversation goes. And then we've got those people in the room that can join in the conversation and share some of their expertise.
Sounds like you're covering a lot in 2 days. So
Yes.
We'll post a link to those events and to Nebraska Master Irrigator in the show notes in case anyone hears this before then and wants to attend or wants to kind of see the recap information afterwards. But it sounds like it's also an ongoing thing that doesn't end this spring. So
part of what we're hoping is that this is just the start of the discussion. And so one of the things we're going to be doing is kind of finding out from those who are there, or if you're not able to attend and you want to follow up later, what do you want those ongoing discussions to look like, whether it's continue local conversations, try out something through on-farm research or TAPS. Is it connect with some of the industry partners or the conservation professionals? So we're going to have those kind of as an ongoing opportunity to continue to engage in this conversation about irrigation.
Great. And you already talked a little bit about technology, but what role does new technology like remote sensing, variable rate irrigation, advanced water scheduling tools, or ones that I probably don't even know about, what role does that technology play in this program's training?
Sure. So we're kind of hitting on three themes through it. Like they're again, leaning on growers to kind of say which direction. So there's the ag technology piece. And so there's some really great tools, several of which you've mentioned, that can really help drive efficiency, give us more data to manage our fields with a lot more precision. So instead of just blanket recommendations, we can really get down to field and subfield recommendations that are right for an individual farmer's operation. So that technology piece is going to be part of it. That's where a lot of our industries partners come into play. Some of them, what we're also covering is what's that low-hanging fruit to really drive efficiency and cost savings. And some of that can even be like maintenance things to keep an eye out for, some real basic equipment management. Some of it can be timing and logistics. So it's kind of that more management side of farming operations. And then the last piece is we also have several partners talking about some of these regenerative ag practices. So how can we really drive soil health to be something that really benefits how we manage our irrigation and nitrogen? So there hopefully will be a little bit of flavor for everyone.
Yeah, well, that kind of leads me to my next question, because we talk a lot about water here at Water for Food, obviously. But my next question was beyond just water conservation. What are some broader economic and environmental impacts of the program on producers and their communities, especially concerning profitability and resource stability? So you talked a little bit about soil health. Can you expand on that, or are there other benefits?
Well, some of this comes down to how do we manage risk in agriculture. That's a big part of what agriculture is all about. Is we've got weather risks, we've got some of these policy risks. Marketing and markets is a big part of it right now, and it always is. And so we're hoping some of these tools will give farmers the opportunity to just have more tools in their toolbox when it comes to those things. So things like soil health, the idea is if you can build up that health and resiliency in the soil, it might hold the water better. It's less prone to erosion. We hopefully have less input loss overall. So all of those can impact the bottom line, as well as maybe make an operation more resilient to weather, severe weather that might come along. And so we're really trying to think of it in that way of, how do we manage both market risk and environmental risk that producers can deal with, because that's what's on the forefront of a lot of people's minds.
What support is necessary from state agencies, the university, industry partners, to help this program continue to grow and to reach more producers across the state, the region?
Sure. So it takes a big team to bring these face-to-face events together. So I really want to give a lot of thanks and appreciation to all the folks I've already mentioned. This is partially possible through our extension colleagues. There's going to be a large number across the state who are hosting. NRCS is providing some of the funding support for people's time and travel. And then we've got some of those industry partners who are helping sponsor some of the meals. So there's going to be lunch and snacks so that everybody stays happy and content while we're having these in-depth conversations. And then just the expertise that the farmers bring to the room. So it really takes all the people engaging to really have a dynamic program.
Yeah. What an awesome way to kind of get all those players in the room.
And I shouldn't forget
to solutions.
Right. And I should not forget to think we've also had a lot of support from Water for Food this year on some of the background logistics and support. So again, many partners to make it come together.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting that it's coming together. And I know it's kind of been in the works for a long time. So it's probably exciting to see it come to fruition. And I'm sure people will learn a lot and also be able to share a lot too. So a lot of our producers have tons of experience in this and can add a lot to that conversation and in helping another producer with a certain problem or something. So it's great to see this moving forward. So, how do you see the master irrigator concept moving toward more of a mainstream standard for water stewardship in Nebraska? And how does it work with the larger U.S. ag industry?
And so I'm really excited to have the support of Master Irrigator in multiple states. And so Master Irrigator, by its name, started in Texas, and I think it was 2016. And now it's grown to there's 10 or a dozen states that we're all working together. So it has a different flavor in each state. We kind of tailor it to the ag systems that are in our state and the challenges we're facing, what type of crops are grown. But we have this larger network so that hopefully all growers in the U.S. might have access to some of these educational resources. Some of the things we're looking to grow are we're hoping this year to put together some online courses, like digital badging, so that anyone globally could access some of these educational resources. And then to think about how we can leverage that into larger markets is a piece that we've talked about, because there is an interest in having water smart food products that consumers can buy, or ways to partner with some of these large water users to help get water offsets in areas of the country that are water short. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to think about how farmers can use the best practices that they're already doing or new ones that they want to try in order to talk about how do we as a state or as a nation manage our water with all of the water users involved. So I'm really excited about places that this can go and how farmers can be part of that conversation.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential to grow it. And I feel like this is just the starting point of it. So congratulations on the program, and it'll be exciting to see these spring shop talks happen. So that's all the questions I have for you today, but is there anything that we didn't hit on that you want to mention or talk about?
I think we covered most of it. We do have some it counts for nitrogen certification, it counts for continuing education credits if you're an ag consultant. So if you're interested in any of those, we also have scholarships available that are being provided by the Nebraska Corn Board. So if you'd like some financial support to make sure you can get there, we want to make sure it's an opportunity that's available to everyone. So please just do reach out. Otherwise, I'll look forward to sharing how it goes in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Crystal, for sitting down with me today. And that concludes this episode of the Water for Food podcast. Again, we'll include a link to some more information about Master Irrigator in our show notes for the episode, so be sure to check that out and join us next time for another insightful conversation on the critical issues of water and food security.
Thanks for joining us this time on the Doherty Water for Food podcast. Make sure to visit our website, waterforfood.nebraska.edu, to view show notes or subscribe so you don't miss future episodes.